So, Mandy and Hayley, because, you know, we've been working, well, you've been working on this half your lives? No, but for a while, and then I've been on board even before. I was artistic director of Black Swan. But for people that don't know, can you take us back to the initial inspiration and...
Well, we actually wanted to write something when we first started out, which was a couple of decades ago. We probably just didn't have the courage to do it.
Did you speak about it, those 2 decades ago?
Yeah, we spoke to each other about it. We, kind of came up with this idea that we would be living in a house in a remote area.
But then somebody else would come.
Yes.
It was never a two-hander.
Yeah, which would have been easier to write.
Yeah.
And that remoteness was related to your upbringing? Yeah. Or inspired by it?
Yeah, I mean, we did grow up in the country, so I think we were used to that sort of idea of being isolated, and that inside the home is where all the magic happens.
Which town? Whereabouts did you grow up?
In Lehman, which is just south of Geraldton. Dad was a fisherman, Mum worked at the school, and we spent a lot of the time living in a caravan there. Sometimes we'd go to a mining house when Dad got a job on the mine. You know, Dad came out here when he was 19 from Donegal. He never went back, but he kept talking about this magical place. I mean, the reality is he didn't have a really wonderful life there, but the way he talked about Ireland, and then of course Mandy and I were just like, couldn't get enough of this magical, green, beautiful place. And so it made us kind of question our relationship with the environment around us, you know. And so Mary and Martha in this play aren't in sync with the environment around them. They consider it quite harsh and hostile out there. And I think that's really interesting because I think we're trying to come to terms with that all the time.
And also just so it's cultural identity. If you cling too much to what your identity is, it stops you from actually just being a human being, you know,
and growing.
Yeah.
If you were to describe the play, what would you say?
2 middle-aged women living together in a very dysfunctional way that is not sustaining them any longer, and they have to change and break the cycle.
Well said. Beautiful. That line is in the play, actually. Beautiful, well said.
Yeah. And they go through a myriad of trying to release from each other, and they play games. Their relationship is a lot around playing games.
Yeah, when we say dysfunctional, it's very idiosyncratic.
And codependent.
Codependent, yeah, and they play games to...
Yeah, they put on all these personas and characters and all this stuff to try to give them some ground underneath their feet. And actually, it's that they start to separate, and when that happens, everything starts falling away. So.
And I have to say, for an audience, for me, just watching the two of you at, I'd say, the height of your skills as actors and creators, it's how you play out these scenes as much as what it's about. It's the joy of seeing your skill, your humour, your intelligence, your creativity, and how you are with each other is just an absolute joy to behold. And how's it been, because it's quite an intimate experience writing something with a sister you're so close to, and then we came on board. Explain or talk about what that's been like?
Oh, it's the dream team. I mean, it's just been great. I mean, we've been living with it for so long. It's been really great to have people who get it and then make it even better by bringing their own thing to it.
And the idea of being in a box, metaphorically and
we
reality.
wrote all that, but then Bruce saw that and brought it to life. But we never imagined.
When we first saw those pictures of your design, our hearts just leapt because we really felt seen. Like we really felt, oh, Bruce sees something that we don't even see really. There was something about the box creates a cubby house that they can play and be young and in fantasy land, but it also is that element of the disenfranchised and the disadvantaged and the people who do feel a bit lost.
Both Rachael and Bruce, we did a development earlier, but that's where particularly the set design came about. Was a few paths to get there. Can you just talk through some of the things we discussed?
I guess I responded to the childlike quality the sisters, these two women have, that there's a make-believe exile, I think I used the word before, but so yeah, we talked about children's thoughts, how children kind of hide themselves away in their make-believe worlds, and led us to think about refugees, the outcast, and the tent worlds that are built for refugees. And it also needed to be something ephemeral that could respond to the flimsiness of their self-exile. So hence the cardboard and the cloth, without giving too much away.
So they're psychologically bound as much as they are physically. I mean, they could knock it down.
Yeah, that's
if
right.
they had the will.
Yes.
What about like the costumes? Like they're almost like playing dress-ups in a way. Like
Yeah. There's elements of several areas, like the music that we talked about. You want to feel of the 50s, but then you want to break that with, a bit of the 80s and the 70s and where are we and what are we doing and let's make this up and pretend. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's all come out of a dress-up box, which can be sometimes harder to design than fully designed costumes,
But the box within a box became a strong metaphor as well. The box that is constantly mentioned in the script, they're living in the cardboard box. They're struggling to get out of this kind of empty vacuousness.
I was similar when I approached the work and thinking of it from a sound point of view, and that idea of being a child and making sounds and making up plays and having an idea of what your soundtrack would be in your head as well, which I think we all kind of still do.
Kind of a freedom from, is this going to be tasteful or aesthetic? Will someone think this is cool? It's sort of free of that in a way.
Yeah, and looking at, like the dress-up box, I know my dress-up box was, bits from what my mum had and bits from what my grandma had and bits from what my dad had, so it was a collection of memories as well. So we've sort of done that with music, going from, Irish ballads to Nine Inch Nails or, and just seeing just being able to play with sound and music like you would with costume, which you don't get to do very often in work.
Yeah.
And just to be as kind of silly and fun as you want to be, knowing that the sillier you get, the darker you can go as well.
And the joy of the collective reference.
The collective references, and then being able to go, okay, I've kind of found that world. What's their inner world, and what's the cinematic music that they're hearing within themselves? And then also looking at sound effects and found sounds and real sounds. What are they hearing? What are they not hearing? What exists? What doesn't exist? It's kind of nice to play with the mystery of that.
And it's interesting directing writers who are the actors on the floor. I think it's an advantage because we didn't sit for a week around the table dissecting the text because it's in you and you know it so well. But there is that interesting shift, isn't there, to go from writer to actor, which I think only adds strength. As much as it needs to be negotiated within your head. As a director, I think it's incredibly exciting. I want to work like this all the time.
And so exciting for us that you all are really comfortable and happy and excited and want to work in a developing kind of way rather than, like you were saying, we've written the script and now this is the way it shall be and we shall rehearse it, and it's absolutely a collaboration, and we're just loving the collaborative effect.
It's got a great spirit.
Yeah.
It's a really good script. It's really fun and beautiful, and yeah, there's just so much to draw from it.